when you were as a shot caller or, holding the keys to the yard at OSP for the IP, Irish Pride, but you were short timing. That's what I didn't ask you. Like, you were short timing. What did your other brothers in the car, were they lifers or doing big stretches?
So look, it's funny that you would ask that because like we didn't have a huge car. When we almost went to war with Kindred out at Snake River, we had the numbers out there.
Yeah.
And when they went to war on that yard, it really hurt Kindred more than it hurt us. At OSP, they had, 30, 34, 35 people, and we had maybe 8. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we had a much smaller car. So I went up to the table, and the dudes who called the shots there, they were friends of mine. Mm-hmm. And I went and sat down with them and I'm like, hey, does it really make sense for us to lose our territory, lose our business? And they're like, well, we're not really going to lose a whole lot. And I said, yeah, but you know what we're going to do? It's the same thing that you would do. Like, we're coming after you guys. We're not coming after your prospects.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we don't come to a resolution with this, then it's consider your worst case scenario because, I'm probably not going to leave this table without violence. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, we get it. Like, it wasn't disrespect. It was just like, this is what it is, bro. Because they could have taken us off the yard and not even taken any patched members.
Right. They could have just sent your prospects. Right.
And they could have all got bones. And I'm like, I'm not going to let it go down like that. Mm. But they understood because it's exactly what they would do. Mm. And we're all friends. You know what I'm saying? I can't go up to a gang member's shot caller table and sit down if we're not friends.
Why? So why go to war?
We didn't.
Well, why was that even a possibility?
Because we went to war. Our cars went to war out on another yard. Yeah. So we had to discuss terms. Really, this was all about discussing terms. I went to them immediately when I heard about it and wanted to discuss terms. They were already talking about it before I sat down. I knew they were. And, we were able to mediate that, because eventually people from Snake River are going to get out of IMU or the hole and they're going to get shot over to OSP. Mm-hmm. And they're going to want blood. They're going to want to go to war. So we're going to have to mitigate that with our shot callers and let them know what time it is. Mm-hmm. So, if I got a dude who was a shot caller at Snake River coming over to OSP and he wants vengeance for something, I have to be able to tell him, look, we have terms set here. This is what they are. This is how you're going to abide. You can get ones, but it's going to be done somewhere where it can be done properly and nobody's going to the hole. And you know where that is at OSP.
Of course.
Clearly.
The blind spots.
Go down to the blind spots like the laundry room, or you could do it in a cell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For a while there, it was out on there was a blind spot in the handball court.
Oh,
but it's also risky because if it spills out, how fights spill out places and there's a gun tower over there.
Right.
And so the gun tower, there's always a risk when there's a gun tower. There was that riot that was there not too long after I left and they went to go fire a warning shot and shot in Sereno in his testicles, bro.
Wow.
Like they went to fire a warning shot and hit him in his testicle, bro. Yeah. And, so, that was kind of sketchy anyway, but the laundry room's the classic tried and true.
Yeah. You never want to get ones by the cops on the yard anywhere that's like, if it's really ones, you try to handle that, and adjudicate it yourself.
Anything else is considered either just a yard removal, which is cool. You could do a yard removal with a torpedo, but it can't be personal.
Right.
And it can't be something where you need to make a statement. Like if one of your homeboys screws up, you can't take him off the yard with a torpedo. You can't make a chomo go beat him up. But, or it's a PC move because you're scared to fight.
Right. Good point.
If you're taken off on somebody in front of the cops, there's very few reasons why that's okay. Like if it's an on-site, that's okay.
Right.
Because that's the first place you saw the dude. Like I didn't want to fight on the control room floor. That's it's an automatic bust. It's going to happen, but there's an on-site on the dude. I put the on-site on the dude. So I know there's an on-site on the dude. So you just there's certain circumstances where it's politically okay to do that type of thing, but it's very limited. It's very few and far between.
Well, my question though was like, how does that work? You as a short timer, also being a shot caller.
So there wasn't very many people in my car, and the people that were there, none of them really had huge amounts of time. We had one dude who had been down for a long time, but he didn't have much time left.
Right.
In fact, it's funny. I was talking to my good friend Andy on TikTok. Andy, first day out, 916. Andy did a bunch of time in California and did a bunch of time in the feds. He has some great stories. You might want to talk to him at some point.
Yeah.
And my homie left OSP and went home, and within a few months was wrapped up by the feds, got 30 years, went up to the feds, met up with Andy. He ended up joining the brand. And to get his bones, he ended up decapitating some dude in a cell.
Ooh.
Cut the dude's head straight off.
Where was that?
I think it was Victorville.
Yeah, Victorville's brutal.
Yeah,
That'll happen.
So and they held him for like 4 years.
Yeah,
in solitary under investigation,
and
he never broke. So they didn't get him on the charge for decapitating the dude.
You're kidding. Wow.
He's a soldier, bro.
They didn't have DNA or anything like that?
Like, I don't know what the feds was doing. And I know it was more than one person, but like he held his mud. So
did you see anybody while you were down at OSP? Did you see anybody go to death row?
Like,
for some that they did at the prison?
Like, so I know there was the dude who did so it was a little bit before I got there that the dude who did the Dairy Mart murders, that murdered the pregnant woman, and the other woman, and then killed Sleepy, which almost caused a huge issue on the yard because a white boy just killed a Sereno, but everybody kind of knew that dude was a jaybird anyway, bro, you know, like, but I never saw really anybody go from the yard at OSP to death row.
Because if you look at the death row inmates at OSP, almost all of them are there for murders that they committed after they were already locked up.